Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Danielle if you do know me, and if you don't know me, wait. Why do I always do that? Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Danielle if you don't know me, and if you do know me, then welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say I am talking a little quiet because I don't have my mic, and I have a mic on my camera, but I don't have my normal handheld mic. I forgot it at my house. But anyway, change of scenery, I'm at my boyfriend's house today. I am very excited because last week's video, I dived into men's fashion inspiration and tips and tricks on how to develop your style as a guy, and that got extremely positive reviews. I got like over 400 subscribers. I think right now I'm at like 380 more than I was before I posted the video. I'm hopefully going to be at about 400 more by the time that I post this video. But I got very positive feedback on that video, and I'm really excited because this week we're going to be talking about how to find your personal style. And if you're like, girl, you talked about that last week. Last week was kind of just fashion inspo and tips and tricks, but this week we're talking how to actually develop your own personal style and how to really discover what you like in style. If you feel like you just need a wardrobe refresh too, like anything like that, really just figure out who you are if you want to get into fashion, or if you already are into fashion, maybe this will help you get more into fashion or give you a little bit of advice that you didn't know you needed. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love on my last video. I know I just mentioned it, but I'm just so excited. I'm so happy that something that I'm so passionate about was able to bring in so much, was able to give so much help and advice to other people, and I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed it and that it actually got attention and love. This video is not going to be directed to men or women. All of these tips are going to be unisex. They're all going to be universal. They're pretty much not open-ended. They are very specific tips, but they're just able to give anyone and everyone help, whether you need it or think you don't need it. Like, everyone needs assistance with fashion. There's always room for improvement, especially with myself. This isn't me saying that I don't need room for improvement. That's why I'm giving advice. This is just me saying I have had such an insanely long journey with my fashion and my style, and I'm so excited that I'm finally at a place where I'm comfortable and confident and I get compliments, and it's awesome. So I really just wanted to impart my wisdom on other people. Anyway, by the way, y'all, I just want to say these tips and tricks are for you developing your own personal style. It is any style. This isn't me saying how to get an edgy style, how to get a preppy style, how to get like a gorpcore style, how to get like goth style. Like, I'm not saying anything specific. This can literally be if you wear sweatpants and a hoodie every single day and you're like, I want to get the confidence and the wardrobe to wear like different white tank tops and different blue jeans every single day. Like, anything to develop your own very personal style, what you like. This has nothing to do with what I like, and this has nothing to do with my own taste. This is everything to do with ways that you can find your own taste. This video is going to be divided into sections of tips. So as of right now, I'm just going to talk about how I found my own personal style. If you're not interested in listening to this portion and you just want to get straight into the tips, go to this time in the video. So first things first, I started off growing up with not a lot of money, but always being extremely into fashion. I did not have any opportunity to find my own style for the longest period of time. I knew what I liked, and I still like those things. It's changed a little bit, of course, but I knew exactly what I wanted and what I liked, and I was never able to achieve that because of financial situations. And so when I finally started getting paid when I was about 16 and got a job, I went absolutely crazy in terms of I was buying stuff from like Lululemon, I was buying stuff from Aritzia. None of it was really my style. I was just like spending money and just buying stuff just because I wanted to, just because I thought it was cool, just because it was what everyone else was wearing, and I really didn't allow myself to dive in and explore what I would really like buying stuff for myself for the first time. Like I just said, how I started buying myself a bunch of stuff, that kind of stopped. COVID hit and everyone became like a Shein warrior. Everyone started buying stuff off Shein. I don't know if anyone else remembers that or if anyone else took part in that. I did. I ordered a bunch of really big packages from Shein, and that was horrible. I barely wore any of the pieces. They were terrible quality. None of them fit me perfectly. Like, it was just really, really bad, and I just kept buying stuff off Shein. It's like, okay girl, we get it. You want to buy fast fashion. Started wearing the most insane outfits out in public because all the stuff I was getting was from Shein. And then once I moved on from that, I started thrifting. Oh boy, I will always promote thrifting because I think it's I think it's an awesome way to get your stuff. It's ethical. It's much more ethical than buying fast fashion, and all those clothes would have just ended up in a landfill anyway. So I honestly think that buying thrifted stuff is a really great way to go. But when I started out buying thrifted stuff, I was just buying any and everything that I even remotely liked, and my wardrobe got so big and I barely wore any of it because none of it was actually quality. I was just buying stuff because I half liked it, and because I knew that because it's at a thrift store, I'm probably not going to see it again. So I just bought everything from the thrift store. I also struggled very largely with body confidence growing up, so the second I started to feel confident in my body, I started to buy any and everything that I liked the way it looked on me, because I had never felt pretty in clothes before. So I was so excited that I could feel pretty in clothes, and I wanted to chase that high forever. So anytime I felt pretty in an outfit, I always bought it, whether or not I wore it. At this point, I kind of started to slow down and feel overwhelmed probably about a year and a half ago, and I really realized that I should not be buying this much clothing. I don't wear half of it, more than half actually, if we're being so honest. A lot of it's ugly, a lot of it I don't actually like, a lot of it's just stuff that my friends told me to buy or stuff that I only bought because it was like one of a kind from the thrift store, which is not true. And I seriously just like fell into this hole where, because I had so much clothing and I felt so overwhelmed, it was hard for me to even pick out an outfit. And I'm somewhat still in this headspace. I'm getting a little bit better. Now that I've been overwhelmed for a little bit, I actually did like a big closet clean out, and now I'm working really hard on buying quality pieces that I love, and I'm wearing items that I truly adore, and I'm trying to collect my dream quality wardrobe. And as of right now, I would say I'm probably about a third of the way there. No, like an eighth of the way there, if I'm being so real. Like, I have found my personal style to an extent. I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I don't have one set personal style. I feel like whenever I say like, yeah, I found my personal style, people think that I'm sticking to a niche, but that's not true. Like, I just like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. Now time to get into the real nitty-gritty of tips and tricks on how to actually find your personal style and develop your actual dream wardrobe that you will love and you will hopefully wear forever, with quality pieces that will last you, that you can pass down to your grandchildren so they can make those cute little TikToks saying, raiding my mom's closet from the 2020s. The very first tip that I'm going to give is to block out the noise. This is a mindset switch. This is not anything to do with shopping. This is literally just about fixing your mind so that you're no longer thinking about everything else. The first thing you're going to do is make sure that you are no longer looking to anyone who's even in your life for advice. This is like your environment. You're usually who you hang out around, and you don't want to think about your friends' fashion inspo. You don't want to think about how your friends are going to look at you. Just pretend that they don't exist. Their fashion advice does not exist, because right now you're not taking advice from any outsiders and it's all in your own head. For the rest of these tips, you're going to be going shopping alone as well, because you don't want the noise from anyone else giving you any advice saying, ew, no, I don't like that, or ooh, I really like this, or oh, that fits you weird. If you like it, you like it, all right? Another thing is, know that no matter what, at this point in your style journey, if you're just starting out, right now, your outfits, you're probably not going to love forever if you don't feel 110% confident in your own personal style. Like, this is not going to be clothing that you feel like you're going to wear the rest of your life necessarily. Just don't put pressure on yourself at this very start point to dress like perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's gonna be perfect at this point. This is probably my favorite tip, but the next little segment is Pinterest is your best friend, especially just starting out. I would argue to say that Pinterest is one of the healthiest social media websites or apps, I mean, like, in the world. What I would do if I were you, if you would like to just kind of start with a clean slate, start with a new Pinterest account. And if you're like, girl, what is Pinterest actually gonna do? Please actually download Pinterest. It has helped so much. Just download it, see how you like it, first of all, for yourself, but second of all, get used to using it, because it is such a key tool in this journey for at least myself. It has helped me so much. It is so amazing. And yes, you're looking at other people's outfits and other people's clothing, but it is going to help. So the first thing that you're going to do with Pinterest is you're going to make a board called fashion, clothing, whatever, a very broad sense of the word. And the second thing you're going to do is make subgenres in there. While you're looking on Pinterest, try to look at individual objects or clothing items, I mean, and accessories that you like, rather than paying attention to the whole outfit, because sometimes you're going to see a whole outfit and you're going to be like, that does not eat. But then you're going to look at like, I kind of mess with the shoes though. And then you're going to make subgenres in this board, and you're going to call them shoes, pants, skirts, dresses, shirts, button-ups, hats, necklaces, glasses, socks, like literally socks. Like, you can do any subgenre you want out of specific things that you like, so that not only are you saving full outfits you like just to the board in general, but in those subgenres, you're going to have such an easy time figuring out what types of shoes and styles of shoes you're drawn to, what types of skirts you're more drawn to, what silhouettes you like best, what color schemes you like best, everything like that. And then it'll all come together and you're going to get way better sense of clothing that you might be drawn to. At this point, you are not going to be focusing on very specific genres. You're not going to be focusing focusing on goth style, even if that's what your style is, don't only focus on that. Literally just look stuff up. You could figure out you're really into a different genre that you never even knew existed. Or you could be saving a bunch of things and say, hey, you know what? I think I'm really into like 80s fashion. And you had no idea beforehand because you were so closed off and only looking at a specific category of clothing or like vibe, you know what I mean? Or aesthetic, I guess. Another really important thing to do at this point is to see if you are a texture, color, or silhouette person. I'm honestly all three. I find all three very important. My boyfriend, on the other hand, is mostly a silhouette person, and I would say he's obviously like into the color and texture of the clothing as well, but silhouette is probably the thing that stands out for him the most, and each is very important. Like, they're very important, but if you at least focus on one minimum, then your outfits will even just be elevated a little bit more than they would have been if you just embraced all of them at once, because it can be kind of overwhelming to have to think about all those things. But colors can be like, you like stone colors, you like more natural colors, whatever, stuff like that. And then silhouette can be things like, I tend to like baggy shirts, I tend to like shirts that are very boxy, I tend to like shirts that go in at the waist, I tend to like more bootcut jeans, I tend to like more wide cut jeans, straight leg, I tend to like chunkier shoes, slimmer shoes. Like, there's so many different parts of a silhouette. Textures can also be like, I like fluffy shirts, I like this super specific sweatpant material, I like this texture of jean, I like the more stiff jean, more loose jean, I like suede shoes, leather shoes, other materials of shoes that I can't think of right now. Like, there are so many different things that you can look at in each thing. Now that you have started to really think about yourself and your own opinions, because you've blocked out the views of others and you have been staring at your Pinterest screen for hours on end, hopefully at this point, you are going to start out with thrifting. And I know earlier in the video, if you watched the part about how I found my own style, you realized that I said I became like a thrifting demon and like thrifted every single day, thrifted every single thing that I liked. That's not necessarily how you're going to approach this. I do think that played a key role in me finding my style, but if I could have avoided that, I would have, and I think that I can help you guys avoid that. So you're going to start off with thrifting. Now that you have your Pinterest board in mind, you really have a goal that you can kind of try and achieve while you're at the thrift store. It's also a really good idea to, if you find something you really like, maybe look at your board and say, I don't seem to be really drawn to this thing. Do I really like it before you buy it? And I would recommend, by the way, starting out with thrifting instead of starting out with going to like even just H&M and like Zara, just because thrifting is a very, very affordable way to dip your toe in the water of a extremely diverse group of clothing, because nobody like thrift stores don't hold one aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like, thrift stores don't hold one vibe, one color scheme, one specific type of silhouette, or one specific texture or material. Like, you are going to find something, there's something for everyone at the thrift store, truly. You can find designer, you can find like super cheap stuff, you can find super old retro things, you can find very new trends. Like, you can find everything at the thrift store, and it is a great place to start. So please don't knock it till you try it. I know like you might not want to roam through dirty clothes, but if you are somebody who's a germaphobe, literally wear gloves. Like, there is no excuses at this point, because there's always something you can do. And if you care enough about your style and your fashion to even watch to this point in the video, then you care enough to go out thrifting and really rediscover yourself and the things that you like. Because this is kind of still your starting point, or like, you know, kind of mid-range, because you're starting to actually purchase clothing for yourself. At this point, you still want to be somewhat picky, because you still, you know, have somewhat of an idea of what you like, and you don't want to go like bankrupt, but you want to allow yourself to explore different clothing items. If you find something and you're like, okay, I think I could kind of make this work, allow yourself to buy a few things like that. Maybe set a budget to make it a little easier for yourself. Allow yourself to really explore and dive into thrifting, and try not to go to regular stores at this point, because you don't want to spend too much money on clothing you don't know if you'll wear forever, especially if you don't know for sure certain pieces you'll love. Now that you have kind of started thrifting, if you're feeling like you might be ready to, this is crazy that I'm saying like you might be ready to shop at first-hand stores. If you are done thrifting, or like you kind of have a little bit more of a gist of what you like, the styles that you like, the clothing you like on your body, whatever, and you're kind of allowing yourself to get back into the fashion game a little bit, it's really, really important to separate yourself from the trend cycle. This is so difficult and so hard to like get a hold of, because trend cycles are everywhere. Trends are literally shoved down our throat. But here's a few easy ways that you can kind of allow yourself to get away from the trend cycle a little bit. First up, scroll past trend prediction videos, because you don't want to be buying clothing based on whether or not it's trendy. You don't want to be buying clothing based on whether or not your favorite influencer likes it. Like, right now we're shopping for your taste, so get rid of those. You don't need to watch those videos. I know that this next part might be kind of difficult, because I feel like a lot of influencers do this, but try to unfollow influencers who only post about the now trends. My friend actually sent me a TikTok, and it was basically this girl doing like a closet refresh, and she was getting rid of a bunch of things and buying a bunch of new things. She got rid of like 8 pairs of Dunks, and she was like, I'm gonna buy specials or something like that. And like, girl didn't even know how to say specials because she is so encapsulated in the trend cycle that she probably saw the word once, realized that they're trending, and decided that she's gonna like overindulge in buying that shoe. And she just got rid of all her Dunks. It's like, girl, if you did not actually like Dunks enough to wear them past just because everyone else is wearing them, then you don't actually like Dunks. You're only wearing them because you want to be seen in them, and that is not how you want to look in clothing. Don't get me wrong, you can still buy a trend, but it has to be because you love the trend, not because the trend has been shoved down your throat so much that you're forced to accept it into your own wardrobe. That's not how it works. Another kind of important thing to keep in mind is don't shop on Shein or any other sites that allow extremely fast access to new trends just because it's an easy way to kind of avoid it. That's pretty much it for that one. Like, it's not too difficult. It's not like a big deal. I mean, I don't shop on Shein anyway. I think it's important to try your best to shop ethically, but it is really expensive, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, you have to shop like handmade by small businesses every time you shop. I absolutely do not. I cannot afford that, and most people can't. Shein is able to add up to 2,000 to 10,000 new styles to its site every single day. Isn't that disgusting? Like, that is horrible. Anyway, so that's another point to delete it. Like, it's just a horrible website to use. I feel like I lightly touched on this earlier, but do not buy into one niche, especially just starting out. This is really important, especially for the trend cycle, because I feel like trends come and go in niches. Like, there was like mob wife aesthetic. That did not stick at all. There's like office siren, like what? There's like that girl, there's like Pilates girl. Like, you shouldn't be sticking to one specific niche and basing your wardrobe off of that, because that's gonna change. And if you're only buying into it because it's a trend, newsflash girl, it's gonna be done in 2 months, and you're gonna hate all your clothes again, and then you're gonna have to buy into a new trend, and it's just gonna keep happening. The next little tip is to search for stores. I have started doing this actually recently, and I'm really liking it. But whether it's finding stores on Pinterest or TikTok or YouTube that you really like, it can be very helpful, because at this point you should have way more of a sense of self and what you really like if you've done all the previous tips that I've stated. Looking for stores that are, of course, legit stores, but not really pushed by social media too much is a really good way to start out, because usually these stores can be local. It's really great to look for small businesses. You don't necessarily have to be buying anything from these stores, but it's a really good way to know the very specific details on what you would like, because when you're shopping online for stores, you're not looking at entire outfits like how people usually are on Pinterest. You're able to see something for what it is and not how it is in an outfit, because now that you've had Pinterest for a while, you should kind of look at them and be able to think how you would style that for yourself. And it's also a good way to save up for specific pieces so that you're really able to invest in your future of fashion instead of just buying a bunch of fast fashion pieces that you're not gonna like in a few weeks.
Editing, but I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're wondering, girl, what kind of stores are you talking about? I'm actually going to be putting up a clothing wish list video next week, kind of like a fashion wish list, and I'm going to be including tons of products from a bunch of smaller brands or brands that just kind of are more niche or you might not have heard about yet. So stay tuned for that video if you guys are wondering what kind of stores I'm going to be shopping from.
The last sort of section that we've got here is to reflect on yourself. This is after you have developed your personal style to the fullest extent if you can, but it is honestly a really important step. So like I said earlier, how you don't need to stick to a specific niche. If you have a specific niche or have a specific style you're drawn to, because I wouldn't say that I have like a niche, I just have certain vibes that I like the most. Like I said, because this is a reflect on yourself section, this is a really good way to incorporate you and your mind, your hair, your makeup, if you wear makeup, your body, like everything like that is going to assist in your outfits, if that makes any sense. Like, it's gonna become an accessory at this point, because the way that you look and the way that you feel can really change the way that you perceive your own outfit and how good you feel in it. So something you can look at is, does your hair match the vibe of the clothing that you like? Is your hairstyle something that is able to complement that, or have you just kind of ignored your hair because you're thinking about your clothing? Because your hair can really add a lot to your outfit. If you're more drawn to an edgy style, but you have a more golden retriever or like innocent or a more soft vibe to the way that you look, how can you adjust that to look a little bit edgier to really just tie in your outfits and make it all look a lot more cohesive? Maybe you can get a specific haircut, maybe you can get tattoos, but don't get tattoos just because you want to fit an aesthetic. Get tattoos because you want a tattoo. Maybe if you wear makeup, you want to start wearing more eyeliner, you want to start wearing slightly more lip liner. Maybe you want to start wearing like darker makeup in general. Maybe you want to to elevate your accessories, you know what I mean, to add more edge. But seriously, adding little things like that can change the entire way an outfit is perceived. If you're wearing all black and you have more golden retriever vibe, you're just gonna look more professional. But if you're wearing all black and you have like a super edgy look, you've got an edgier haircut, you've got lots of tattoos, then you're going to look like edgy and cool, if that makes any sense. And this last little add on to the reflect on yourself section is going to be hard to digest for some people, but I want you to listen to this with an open mind, just because I don't want it to sound like I'm promoting anything bad or saying that like fashion is only for skinny people, because that's not what I'm saying at all. While this shouldn't be your only reason for doing this, does your body type allow you to be confident in the clothing that you're wearing? No matter how you look, it literally does not matter for clothing. Like, fashion is fashion. Fashion is not skinny. I'm just putting that out there because my whole life I felt like if I'm not like stick thin, then I can't wear certain clothes. Do you feel confident in your clothes? Are you able to find clothing that fits you right, that you love so much in your style? Because sometimes you might have to like change a little bit of the way you go about how you feel and how you look in your body, because it might allow you to feel more confident and happy in the clothes. Because the second that you feel confident and happy in your body, you're going to feel so much better about the way that you look in outfit. Alright, so to wrap it all up, we've got some final tips for how to find your own very personal style, and these are just little things that I wasn't really sure what category to put them in. The first thing is, once you start really thrifting and getting into finding clothes that you actually like with intention to buy, allow yourself to want, especially when you stop thrifting. I'm kind of at a point where I'm not really, it's not that I'm not wanting to thrift, it's that like I want to buy very quality pieces that will last me. So even if I'm in a thrift store, I'm not going to buy stuff if it's from Shein originally, even if it's like $2, because it's like, that's not a quality item. I know what I like. Why wouldn't I be investing in pieces that are going to last me long term? This is if you've kind of like really come into your own personal style. It'll also stop you from having an overwhelming amount of clothes in your closet. This next point is really important, and it can be really difficult to start off with, but don't allow other people's opinions to affect you, especially if you love what you're wearing. It's really, really important to stay true to yourself, to stay true to your own personal style. Even if your own personal style has so many different categories in it, like, don't allow somebody else's opinion to change what you love, because it's just what you love, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it if you love it. It's just something that you care about. This next point is really important. It's just something to keep in mind when you're shopping. Keep in mind comfort and functionality. I, for a period of time, didn't really keep in mind functionality specifically. Like, you need to be able to see yourself wearing it and moving in your body with that piece of clothing on throughout the day. Walk around, lift up your arms, make sure that everything is tailored to you, everything is long enough, everything is comfortable, because if it's not, you're not going to reach for it. That is the fact. That is a fact. Like, you're not going to reach for it if you're like, okay, well, you know what, I love the way it looks, but I can't lift my arms up all the way. Sorry, queen, no matter how good it looks, don't buy it. Another tip is, if you are just starting out buying more expensive pieces, or like really starting to digest, like think about what you're buying, make sure to start with elevated basics. Just buy a very simple white or black tank top, buy a very simple pair of jeans, buy very simple dress pants, but things that fit you so unbelievably beautifully. Because I found that when I started buying clothing, I kind of started with more out there pieces, and because of that, I had no outfits. Like, I had no simple staple basic outfit that I could add an elevated or like crazy piece to. I only had a bunch of crazy pieces that like they didn't go together. So I like kept having to buy clothing to make outfits. Another point I have to say is, don't buy something unless you already own an outfit that you can wear it with. And like, when you're starting out with your style, it's kind of difficult to listen to that, because it's like, okay girl, well, I'm getting rid of my whole wardrobe. No, just like start with the basics and then buy things that you can wear with that, because if you can't wear something with a basic, you probably are not going to wear it in your day-to-day life. This next tip is probably the most important, and it has something to do with functionality to an extent, but whether or not you agree, the fit of clothing is everything. If you buy something from like Louis Vuitton, if it doesn't fit you right, it's going to look cheap. Things that do not fit you do not look expensive. It's not like everyone's goal to look expensive, but in my opinion, if you're wearing something and it looks super cheap and not well made, it can be something so expensive, but it will not look well made if it does not fit you. If you can get it tailored and you know it'll fit you well, if you do, obviously buy it. You know what I mean? If tailoring won't fix it, don't buy it. Like, it is not worth it. It is not worth the turmoil. It is going to look cheap. It's not going to look well thought out. It's going to look like you picked something out of like like Shein or H&M just simply based on the fact that it looks weird on you because it doesn't fit you right. But on that note, don't beat yourself up if something doesn't fit you right or if an outfit doesn't go as planned. It's okay. Like, it's fine. Or if you have like a specific type of top that you want and you find what you think is the perfect version of that and it doesn't fit you right, also don't mind. There's going to be a better top for you somewhere and you're going to be so grateful you didn't waste your money on the one that wasn't perfect. Another random tip is if you want to start with basics but you don't necessarily have the money to start buying more out there pieces, if you want to really experiment with your style, you can honestly start with accessories and jewelry because that can really tie in an outfit. That can change the entire vibe of it. You can wear the same t-shirt and the same jeans every single day and change it up with your accessories, change it up with your bag, change it up with your glasses, with your necklaces, with your shoes. Like, all of those things change the entire way an outfit is perceived. Another kind of random thing, you don't have to do this. I used to be a firm believer that your body type does not deem the style of clothing that you should wear, and it doesn't deem the style of clothing you should wear, but it will change the way that certain clothing it looks on you and flatters you. Once I really kind of discovered my own body type and how to style it, I feel a lot better in clothing and I feel a lot more confident in my day-to-day life because I'm wearing things that I know flatter me. Alright, I'm sorry if I seemed low energy. I am super tired and I think I'm kind of dehydrated and hungry. But I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you got some use out of this video. I hope that it helped you and gave you some insight. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. It really helps me grow my channel and helps put my videos out there. And please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let's get to 1,700 followers, shall we? I love you all so much. I really appreciate you. If you're one of the people that has been subscribed to me from my last video, I am going to be pumping out a lot more fashion content, and I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know any suggestions, advice, questions, or compliments that you've got in the comments below. Mwah. Bye, y'all.